Yes, people, what is happening? Welcome back to Lily White Lane. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all doing okay. And today, I'm going to be bringing you your unbiased Premier League show, taking a look at the weekend's games. But before we get into the video, make sure if you're new here to smash that subscribe button, hit that like button as hard as you possibly can, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss an upload. On the content side, things you can expect to see all kinds of Tottenham Hotspur content, whether that be match previews, match reviews, player ratings, predicted lineups, Tottenham updates, transfer updates, debriefs and day after shows after every single Tottenham Hotspur game and fixture, the whole shebang. So make sure to smash that subscribe button. And without further ado, let's get right into the video. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your unbiased Premier League show, taking a look at the weekend's games and results. And man, we have a lot of games to go through. Obviously, as I say, we are recording this on Friday, not on Monday, not Tuesday when we normally would after the game week. But there's been so many games. I thought, we could have done 2 videos, but let's all put it into one big video. So we have tons and tons of games to go through. All of the games from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So a hell of a load of games to go through. So without further ado, let's crack on with it. So, we will kick things off with Friday evening's game, Leicester versus Newcastle United, where Leicester did take on Newcastle from the King Power Stadium in this fixture. This game did end 4-2 to Newcastle, a massive 3 points for Newcastle, which now officially guarantees them safety. And look, these are a group of players at Newcastle, in my opinion, who were playing for their manager. These are a group of players who have struggled a lot this season, and they recognise they haven't done as good as they could have been. They recognise they've been in a relegation fight they shouldn't have been in. And look, over the past few games, they've recognised that, they've realised that, and they've really put in a shift for Steve Bruce. As I say, a group of players playing for their manager. I think players have really stood out, in my opinion. The likes of Joe Willock, as much as I hate admitting it, the Arsenal loanee, has really stood out, in my opinion, scored some crucial goals. This game, as I say, I thought defensively that they were rock solid, although they conceded 2 goals. They counter-attacked really well. Yes, you can say the third and fourth goal came completely out of nowhere and was against the run of play. But I honestly don't believe Leicester weren't good enough. I think it was way too little too late for them to score those last 2 goals. As I say, as good as they were, too little too late from Leicester. And look, they knew that they'd be heading into a really tough 3 fixtures against Manchester United, Spurs and Chelsea. And if they won one of those, which they did, spoiler alert, we'll get to that later in this video, as I say, then they would probably stay in top 4. But look, a really gutting loss for them, and quite an embarrassing one. Speaking of embarrassing losses, Saturday afternoon's game, my team, Tottenham Hotspur, basically giving away our Champions League hopes to Leeds United, and it really was frustrating. It really was frustrating. Obviously, like all my unbiased Premier League shows, I won't go too in-depth about what I think of this game from a Tottenham standpoint, because we do that on the channel on every single video after a game, as I say. So I'll talk about Leeds United for a second on here, because look, they deserve a lot of credit. They really do deserve a lot of credit. They really did break us down. I thought we definitely made it easy for them as Tottenham Hotspur, to say. But I definitely believe they broke us down. They played some really quick first-time football, first touch, to say, take a touch, pass it on. They were really quick on the ball, and we couldn't handle them defensively. Look, they definitely exposed that right hand side of Sirs. They definitely exposed that right hand side for Tottenham Hotspur with Serge Aurier. Definitely, they kept on exploiting that side, as I say, because he was getting skinned every single time someone came up one-on-one against him, and they capitalised on the opportunity for the third goal, where they could clearly see he was walking back to the net. They absolutely paced it down there with the ball, as they gave it everything they got to get into the end of our half, to get into our box. And look, it was a really nice goal, their third one. I thought Patrick Bamford getting a goal, fair play to him. Really frustrating for Spurs. But, 3 good goals and 3 very important points for Leeds United. And they can definitely look at this season and see they've really been the team that stood out coming up from the Championship. Fulham, in my opinion, they played attractive football, but they weren't good enough. West Brom, definitely not good enough. But you look at a side like Leeds, and they've adapted so well to the Premier League, given that they only had 2 weeks rest after the Championship, as I say. So look, absolutely incredible. They've been a team, in my opinion, that has such sharpness on the ball, as I say, and the fitness levels of a lot of their team, most of their squad, is absolutely unreal, as I say. With a fast-paced attacking, first-touch football that they play, constantly pressing the opposition, it takes so much energy out of you, so much out of you. And they've done that all season, considering they only got 2 weeks break in between this season and last season's championship, and we all know how grueling the championship can be. So fair play to Leeds. You know, they're a team that I really, really do respect, and a big win for them, but not good enough at all from Tottenham Hotspur, and giving away our top 4 hopes. And that takes us on to Saturday's next game, Sheffield United versus Crystal Palace. I'll be honest, I didn't watch this game. I saw a match of the day. Easy for Palace, really. Sheffield are a team that don't really have anything to play for now, when you can clearly see it. Some teams adapt well to that, others don't. They're a team that's definitely not adapting well to it. And look, they made it easy. They really did make it easy for Crystal Palace, a comfortable win. Fair play to Palace. And that takes us on to 5:30 kickoff on Saturday afternoon, as I say. And this one was an absolutely phenomenal finish. It had a phenomenal finish. It wasn't a phenomenal game. I thought it was very, very slow paced, but had an absolutely phenomenal end to this game, as I say. Absolutely brilliant. So we'll go through some of the talking points of this one. So it was the big game of the weekend, as I say. And look, Manchester City score right before half-time. I'm thinking it's the worst time you want to concede, especially with a team such as Chelsea, which relies on breaking teams down by playing, keeping possession and building play up the pitch, as I say. And when a team such as that concedes, it really, really is tough, because you have to change your tactics up. You have to change your playing style up. You can't just sit back now because you're 1-0 down. Otherwise, you're not going to pick up all 3 points or even a point. So look, they had to go for it after that goal from Manchester City. But right before half-time, Aguero gets a penalty, and I think City can finish the game right now. 2 goals before half-time, no chance. No matter how good Chelsea are, no chance they're coming back from that straight before half-time. And he does a stupid Panenka, which did come to cost them the game. So then in the second half, as I say, look, Aguero's missed penalty was really, really frustrating for many City fans and players, I do imagine, and Pep Guardiola. You can clearly see by the expression on his face that he was expecting Aguero to put that one away. But as I say, look, second half, Chelsea score, good movement, as I say, and then I thought they were in cruise control. I'll be 100% honest, I really do think Chelsea did really, really well in this game. The way they play out from the back, I understand it's their one way of playing, but the way they do play out from the back is absolutely phenomenal. And then it's a goal from Xavi Alonso, I believe it was Alonso, as I say, in the final minute, the final few seconds of the game, and it's I don't even want to call it a goal, because it's one of those goals that it's not like, what a goal, but at the same time it's like, good goal. It's just like, what? How did that end up in the back of the net? But then again, I don't think Alonso could care less. I don't think Tuchel could care less, because they just went out there and beat the Premier League champions, the best side in English football, if not the best side in the world right now, 2-1, when they're facing them in the Champions League final in 2 weeks' time. So look, really, really good job done there by Chelsea, in my opinion. A late goal, let's say, from Alonso finishes the game off. 2-1 win against the Premier League champions. And look, absolutely crazy stuff that did take place at the Etihad Stadium. But I do have to congratulate Manchester City on becoming Premier League champions. Fair play to them. They've been the best side this season, and they thoroughly deserve it, in my opinion. They really do thoroughly deserve it. But that takes us on to Saturday evening's game, going from the top team to a team that's trying to get into top 4, from a mid-table team and a team that is looking, not likely at all to get Champions League football. Liverpool versus Southampton. Liverpool really needed to bounce back here at Anfield against Southampton. And they did, a bit like the Crystal Palace game. It was a comfortable win for Liverpool. 3 important points, 2 goals, 2 good goals. One from Mane, which I thought was a nice goal, as I say. And look, fair play to Liverpool there. Three very, very important points for their season, and I do think they could go on to challenge Chelsea for that place, considering Chelsea's midweek result and Liverpool's midweek result. And you have to look at it as well as Liverpool have nothing else to focus on, nothing else they're thinking of apart from top 4 in European football. Chelsea have got a Champions League final to look forward to. They've got an FA Cup final, which does take place tomorrow evening. So the ball is definitely in Liverpool's court to, go out there and get that 4th place in the top 4, in my opinion. Who knows if Leicester slip up in the last 2 games, and, maybe Liverpool can capitalise on that. But we will have to see. We definitely will have to see whether Liverpool can get top 4. But a big 3 points from Liverpool against Southampton. And that takes us on to Sunday afternoon's first game. It was Wolves versus Brighton. As saying, look, this was quite an enjoyable game. It was quite an enjoyable game. Lewis Dunk, as I say, scoring early on. Really, really good header. He's a player that's so underrated in my opinion. He's absolutely class. He's a beast of a centre-half. He's brilliant in the air. He scores a few goals, as I say, pops up from many, many corners. You know, if you get it at the right place, Lewis Dunk, if he can get to it, I'm saying 9 out of 10 times he's putting it into the back of the net. So many headers he's scored this season. He really is an immense player, in my opinion, in that centre-half position. So positionally aware, as I say, he doesn't get carried away when he has the ball. So calm on it as well. He's really, really an impressive player, in my opinion. Someone who deserves to be playing for a top 6 club, if I'm being 100% honest. To be playing for a club that is at least getting European football, if not Champions League football. So he scores, then a goal from Wolves before half-time, and then another one in the second half. And look, Brighton will stay up. Not much else to say on that front. Wolves, it's not been their best season. They can't compete for European football, but they're still staying up. You know, they're in quite a comfortable position in that mid-table. So look, this game really didn't mean much for either side. Probably a little more for Brighton, as they just wanted to make sure that it's official now that they can't be caught, as to say, and that, you know, they won't go down. But obviously that was confirmed on Monday Night Football. We will get to that, as I say, as the video goes on. So look, 3 important points for Wolves, and that then takes us on to Aston Villa versus Manchester United. Villa score early in this game. It's a good goal from Traore. But the way United counter-attack, and it's almost like you want them to go 1-0 down, because whenever they don't go 1-0 down, they don't win. So they're 1-0 down late in the second half. Some really, really good goals. 3 fantastic goals. A header from Cavani, which was their third one, really stood out in my opinion. Really, really good goal. Greenwood as well, putting one into the back of the net. And what a player he is. An absolutely phenomenal player. So look, big 3 points for United. Top 4, I believe, is now officially confirmed for them. And look, they will definitely take this season. And look, at the same time with a team such as Manchester United, I can see improvement. I can clearly see with a side such as United that last season they finished 4th, right? I believe they finished 4th, or they finished... No, yeah, they did finish 3rd and Chelsea finished 4th, right? So they got top 4 last season and finished 3rd. I do believe they did. Then they entered the Champions League at the beginning of this season, got knocked out into the Europa League, right? Last season, they got knocked out in the Europa League semi. This season, they're in the Europa League final. Last season, they were 3rd in the Premier League table. This season, they're 2nd and probably are going to stay 2nd in the league table. So look, big win for them. And it was a really, really tough schedule for them, which we will discuss as the video goes on, having to play 3 games, I believe, in 6 days. So it's very, very harsh. But as I say, big 3 points for United, and that takes us on to Sunday evening's game. West Ham's top 4 dreams crushed by Everton at the London Stadium. And look, it really, really is going. I really do feel for West Ham. I think, you know, and I know that's very, very strange coming from a Tottenham Hotspur fan, as I say, but look, I do feel for them because it's been a phenomenal season, as they've got so many good players and they've really made a push, yet they just about haven't made it, right? And they won't get the same headlines them making Europa League football than it would them making Champions League football. But look, Calvert-Lewin, clean finish in the first half. From there, they dominated the game, in my opinion, Everton. They sat back well. West Ham had a few chances. Not the most entertaining game I think I've ever seen, but a big 3 points there for Everton. And look, if they went on to beat Villa midweek, maybe, just maybe, they had a chance of getting Europa League. But obviously, those dreams were crushed for the Evertonians in midweek, as I say. But look, big 1-0 win, and that takes us on to Sunday evening's game. It was Arsenal versus West Brom. I don't think any Arsenal fans really cared. There were some good goals in this one, obviously, that I did see from the highlights. Never really like to watch Arsenal because they're boring. But look, really, really good free kick from Willian. Good goal from Pepe. Cool, I don't think Arsenal fans really care, in my opinion. But look, that is coming from a Tottenham Hotspur fan. If I was an Arsenal fan, I wouldn't care about that awful club anyway. I'd honestly be questioning why I decided to support that piece of shit club. Honestly, I think I would. But look, we don't have to worry about them because you always know, as bad as Tottenham Hotspur season is, we're always going to finish above Arsenal from now on because they're just so bad. They're so bad. But anyway, enough of me digging into Arsenal like they deservedly so should. Big 3 points for them. maybe European football. I highly doubt it. West Brom relegated, Big Sam relegated for the first time. I think that's the big headline coming out of that game. I expected it. I saw it coming. I think West Brom don't have a good enough team. And yeah, that's about all I have to really say about that one. As I say, look, Arsenal 3-1 win, some good goals to watch in that one. And yeah, that takes us on to Monday Night Football. This one was a surprisingly entertaining game. And I don't know what it is about Burnley, but when they turn it on this season, when they put the foot on the gas pedal, when they really want to go for the opposition, they really do go for the opposition. And it may be weird saying this, but they've been one of the most entertaining sides to actually watch this season. They've scored so many goals. And Chris Wood he's been absolutely phenomenal. He's been immense over the past few weeks. Absolutely exceptional, Chris Wood. He scores in this one. An absolute stunner, as to say. Fulham going down, it really is gutting for Fulham. You know, people who say they don't want Scott Parker, if you're a Fulham fan, I think you're talking at your backside there. I think he took over a Fulham side that was maybe just fading away from those playoff places, as I say, and brought them straight back up to the Prem. And obviously, they had a good fight in the Prem. Weren't 20th, weren't 19th. As I say, it took them down to the last couple games of the season to get relegated. Gutting for Fulham, as I say. But look, I definitely do believe they're a side with some very talented players, some young players that are going to come through. So I wouldn't be surprised if I see them in the Premier League 2 years on. So fair play, Fulham. It's been really entertaining having you in the Premier League. If there's any Fulham fans watching this, as I say, neutral respect to them. As I say, Tottenham don't have any rivalry with Fulham. Well, it's sort of a London rivalry, but you know, if everything was a London rivalry, we'd be rivals with about 15 clubs. So honestly, fair play to Fulham. They've played some attractive football, and yeah, good luck in the Championship next season. And that takes us on to our next fixture, right, after Fulham's 2-0 loss to Burnley on Monday Night Football, right. Takes us on to our next one. It was Southampton versus Crystal Palace. This one actually to take place after the United game, but obviously I'll cover this one before the United game. Not much really to say about this one. Again, two mid-table sides who aren't going to get relegated and aren't going to push for European football. Decent game. Ings scores on his return. A fantastic player. Him deserves to be in the Champions League club. That's about all I've got to say about this one. Big 3 points for Southampton. Not good enough at Palace. But speaking of Palace, Frank Lampard taking over at Palace. Wow. Didn't see that one coming. I really didn't see that one coming. And you know what? If it does actually happen, fair play, because I do believe that is a fantastic managerial appointment. Look, you look at managers such as Frank Lampard, and he took over a side like Chelsea over the past few years. And I know he gets a lot of criticism now, people saying they don't want him anywhere. He doesn't deserve to manage a Prem side. I believe he took over a Chelsea side that were on a transfer ban. They hadn't got Champions League football in a couple of years, and when they did, they basically throw it away in the group stage, and if not, the round of 16. So look, I definitely do believe when he came into Chelsea, the expectations were quite low, and he defied everyone's expectations. You know, as I say, he silenced the critics, really. You know, he took over a side that were on a transfer ban that couldn't spend any money. Brought through the youth players and dominated, really did dominate, especially to the latter stages of this season. You know, brought through the likes of Mason Mount. There'd be no Mason Mount, you know, playing the way that he does right now if it wasn't for Frank Lampard. Because if you know Mount, you'll see he's a very similar player to Frank Lampard. And I do believe that's where he gets his star power from, Frank Lampard teaching him that. So, you know, there probably wouldn't be no Mason Mount in the starting 11, probably no Reece James in the starting 11. You know, these players come through because of Frank Lampard's influence of bringing in the youth players to actually improve the team when Chelsea were on a transfer ban. So, look, I really don't think he's as bad as some people say, Frank Lampard. At Crystal Palace, I really do wish him good luck. I think it's a good job for him to take, as I say, a team that's with a lot of older players and youth players that can be developed, the likes of Eberechi Eze, who's an absolute class player, as I say. So look, looking forward to seeing what Frank Lampard can do with Crystal Palace next season if he gets a good amount of money. Just maybe will they make a push for European football? Who knows, as I say, football's absolutely crazy at the moment. But look, that about wraps it up for that game, as I say, and that takes us on to our next game, Chelsea versus Arsenal. Not good enough from Chelsea, as I say. When you got one way of playing, you sometimes have to switch up when you go a goal down. And they didn't this time. They really didn't this time. It was the Jorginho mistake that really did cost them this game, in my opinion. I don't think Arsenal were really that good. I think they defended quite well, but the game should have been 0-0 if it wasn't for that awful mistake from Jorginho. Passes it back, and that's something I learned from playing right back in football. Right, when you're playing right back, or when you have the ball in the defensive area, someone's pressing you. Take your time. Right, it feels like they're straight behind you, but take your time. Pass it back to the keeper, right? Play a strong pass back to the keeper. He didn't take his time. He felt the pressure coming on to him. As I say, and he made a stupid pass into a goal. He didn't look at the keeper, just expected him to be there. Kepa pretty much saved Jorginho from being an own goal. Then Smith Rowe puts it in a bit of a scuff shot, but a good finish from him. And that wraps it up for that game. Not good enough from Chelsea, in my opinion. Arsenal with a 1-0 win, that will definitely cheer up some Arsenal fans, but I don't think, once again, it makes... And this is coming from a Spurs fan, and this isn't me, taking the mick or anything. I honestly believe there is no point, and I honestly believe it doesn't matter. You got knocked out of the Europa League. You're in one of the worst positions that you've been since, 1995. So, in my opinion, I really don't get what Arteta can bring to their squad anymore. I don't think Arsenal are at all good enough. And I definitely believe they have got some of the worst owners in the Premier League, right? But as I say, big 1-0 win for Arsenal doesn't matter in my opinion, though. And that takes us on to the day after this game. Villa versus Everton, a real chance for Everton to maybe grab European football, get, a top 10 finish at least. And they didn't. They just threw it away. 0-0, boring game. What a save by Martinez to deny Calvert-Lewin. What a save. And in my opinion, he has been the best goalkeeper this season. Now, I haven't announced it yet, but the final Unbiased Premier League show of this season will be after the season actually finishes. And what it will be an Unbiased Premier League show, and basically we'll be talking about the team of the season. And in my opinion, who was the best player, who did this, who was the best defender, the best midfielder, the best striker, the best team of the season. We'll be doing all of that on the final episode of the Unbiased Premier League show. And my current plan is to cover the Euros. I do believe we'll be doing unbiased Euro shows or whatever. I'll come up with a better name for that. But we'll definitely be covering the Euros on this channel, as say. And that takes us on to our final game of this video. It's been a long one, hasn't it, lads? It really has been a long one. Fair play if you're still tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. As say, every single one of you are absolute bloody legends. Comment down below as well what you think of these Unbiased Premier League show videos. But final game, as I say, of the weekend and weekdays. Manchester United versus Liverpool. I didn't see in any world how United will lose this game, but they did. They went 1-0 up, and it's almost like when they go 1-0 up, they don't know what to do with themselves because they're so used to conceding and then coming back. They go 1-0 up and they don't know what to do with themselves. Some people saying it wasn't going into the back of the net. Some saying it was. I do believe it was going to go in, that shot from Bruno Fernandes, if it didn't take a deflection and go into the back of the net. I thought it was just about to curl into the net, as to say. So that puts United 1-0 up, and I thought they were playing the ball around really nicely. Liverpool were a shambles. But in those final 5 minutes before half-time, they really did wake up. They really did wake up. And you know who the star man was? Bobby Firmino, Roberto Firmino. I thought he was absolutely immense, absolutely incredible. The first goal, as I say, from Liverpool, really nice. And then the second one, a fantastic goal, as I say. So some really good play there from Liverpool. Well deserved, in my opinion. And straight in the beginning of the second half, it's a free kick for Liverpool. It's a great ball in. Firmino smashes it in with his head. Right place, right time, in my opinion, from Firmino. There's nothing the defenders could have done about that. A penalty claim. Do I believe it was a penalty with the rules now? Yes. In an ideal world, though, no, it's not a penalty. I believe if you get the ball, it doesn't matter what happens on the follow-through because you can't control your legs. If you get the ball, you get the ball. That's how it works. But obviously, football's becoming a much more soft sport right now. So, look, that frustrated me as well to see that's even being claimed as a penalty because I don't believe it was. And then I'd say United do get another one. It's really good play from Cavani and Rashford. Rashford puts it in. A phenomenal finish from Rashford. So clean. And then look, Liverpool finish it off. Reminds me of Salah's goal in January. Obviously doesn't have the importance that one did. But look, really good goal from Salah. And that does wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a long Unbiased Premier League shows. Loads and loads of games to go through. Thank you for watching. And as always, come on you Spurs!